Okay, well, Liz, welcome to the webinar. And I
Thank
just have
you.
one thing to say. Let's get cooking because we're going to talk about actually one of the pages in the cookbook, which is an introduction to the recipes section. We're all so excited about the recipes. And thank you very much for not only developing the recipes with our team, but testing them. And so, Liz Weiss, as a registered dietitian and certainly a cookbook expert and a recipe expert, what goes into recipe testing? Why is it so important?
Oh my gosh, there is so much that goes into it. We have to come up with the ideas to begin with. What will resonate with the Wilson disease community? What recipes are going to fall into that healthy and delicious copper conscious realm, if you will? Are these recipes easy? Are they made with ingredients that are easy to find? Is the recipe flexible? Because you know what? A recipe is a template, and we all like to build in flexibility. We all have different tastes. So much goes into just coming up with the ideas. Then you test. Of course, you grocery shop, you test, you do dishes, you retest, you do dishes. So there's a lot that goes on. And I am very particular, Carolyn. So if it says dice, cut the bell pepper into half-inch dice, I have my ruler, I'm not lying, and I measure that half-inch dice.
Why is this so important? We all take recipes, I would say, kind of for granted, thinking, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You actually had a recipe in mind, let's say a lot of times, but when you tested it, you realized, uh-oh, I need a little more of this, a little less of that. Kind of take us behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. So recipes take time and nuance. So, for example, let's see, I have a list here of there's so many great recipes. Okay, so we have a carob and chocolate chip cranberry cookie. And not chocolate chip as in regular chips, but carob chips. So, carob chips, dry cranberries. So, I'm making that recipe and it might come out a little bit dry. And I'm like, what can I do to change this up? Or I'm like, gee, it's just not quite sweet enough. I don't want it to be so sweet. We are registered dietitians. We want our recipes to bring some health to the table and great flavor, but we don't want to go overboard. So it's tweaking. And when you're baking, you got to just keep making it over and over again till it comes out just right.
And it costs money to buy ingredients. It costs time to put a recipe together. It costs a little bit of emotional, what do you call it, like investment to serve it to your
Yes.
family and friends. So this is another reason we are so happy that you've tested these recipes. They're not only dietitian approved, they're kitchen tested. And then, hello, real life. It may be a recipe for four, but you've got six people, or it's a recipe for six and there's just two of you.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about how you plan for flexibility.
Right. So recipes are really a lesson in math, and I'm not very good at math, which is a good thing for you guys making these recipes because I keep things really simple and I make the math easy. So if the recipe, let's say you want to make the cauliflower power salad, and there's only two of you and not four of you, just divide by two. I mean, it is that simple. Or you want to make that cauliflower power salad, but you went to the store and broccoli was on sale, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get broccoli. I'm going to make it with broccoli instead. It'll work. So there's flexibility, and then there's the math where you can double it, just multiply by two, or you can cut it in half, divide by two.
That is fantastic. And back to the flavors of things, and you're mentioning some recipes, which is that they're so delicious and nutritious because registered dietitians have been involved in this. Of course, we're looking at optimal nutrition with, the copper limitations involved. So as you were developing the recipes, Liz, what were you thinking of in terms of just overall good nutrition?
Sure. I'm thinking fiber always, Carolyn, because most Americans don't consume enough fiber, and fiber has so many health benefits. It feeds the healthy bacteria that live in our gut. That's the microbiome. So many health benefits to that. It helps to keep us full and satisfied so we don't tend to overeat if we have enough fiber. It helps to reduce our risk of heart disease and certain cancers. So we want more fiber, which means more fruits and veggies, whole grains, which of course, on a copper conscious diet, you're going to use more all-purpose white flour versus whole wheat, but we use some recipes with a little whole wheat mixed in. So I'm thinking fiber, I'm thinking healthy fats. We don't want to go overboard on saturated fat because that can raise heart disease risk. So I'm using canola oil and some other vegetable oils in the recipes to balance that out instead of like stick upon stick of butter. So fiber. We want to keep those fats healthy. We also want good quality protein because protein keeps us strong and satisfied, and it's so important for good health. So it's a balancing act. I'm not just going to say, here's a piece of chicken. I'm going to say, here's some chicken with broccoli or with cauliflower or with green beans or, some other veggie that really complements that dish.
The apple celery chicken salad is one of my favorites, which
Mm,
is to copper. Now, of course, when you are following the copper conscious diet lifestyle, you want to limit copper. But what we've learned from the registered dietitians at the Wilson Disease Centers of Excellence is it's okay to mix in some foods that are medium, not just all the low copper, but medium. Talk us through that a little bit in the recipe development. I guess it would be the frequency of consumption, how much is there?
right.
We could use avocado, right? We can use some of the
Yeah.
things that are actually fall in the medium category.
Right. So I'm a big fan, as an example, of black beans and other canned beans. And we know that's a medium copper food. So is it okay to consume them? Of course it is. So in one of our recipes for a breakfast burrito, we add some black beans to that. We're not adding cup upon cup. We're adding a moderate amount of that moderate food. So yes, you can keep black beans and other beans in your pantry. Another recipe, let's see. Oh, fish tacos. I'm a huge fish taco fan. Love that recipe, but boy, am I an avocado fan, a medium food. So you and I had gone back and forth. I remember during recipe development time period of can we use avocado? Can't we use avocado? How should we use avocado? Yes. So we've got an avocado in that recipe for that serving of four. So you're dividing that avocado by four. You're adding some beautiful luscious slices, and you get that avocado. You're not going to eat it every day, all day, but yes, adding some of those moderate foods to really enhance the flavor and the versatility and the yumminess of those recipes. It's fine to do so.
Well, Liz, thank you so much. And also, a little quick tip to everybody listening, do not forget to read the head notes or the little paragraph just underneath the recipe title, because within that head note are not only maybe some tips and tricks about success and flexibility, but also some teachable moments about
Mhm.
copper conscious cooking. Thank you so much, Liz.
Thanks, Carolyn.